Hi, how are you guys? So,
Hello.
welcome to Tasting Tuesday with the Black Study Group. We are going to get started in about 5 minutes. We're just going to wait for everyone to join the call. But welcome, and I hope you guys have Gewerztraminer today. Do you guys have Gewerztraminer? Ntakuzu. Ntakuzu. Can you tell me how to say your name? Hi. Yeah. I know I slaughtered.
My mom asked me for help.
Hi, it's Ntokozo.
Ntakuzu.
Yeah.
Ntakuzu. Yeah, so we're just going to wait for a couple more people to join the study group and then we'll get started. And let me share it on the Black page. So just bear with me for a minute. Yay.
Did you count you good? Shut the hell up. Why don't you go to your room?
Okay, let me just admit all. Okay, perfect. All right, so you guys, we're gonna get started in 3 minutes. Thanks you guys for coming. So we're gonna start in 3 minutes. Just waiting for a few more of the regulars to come. Yay, okay. Yay.
Y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. Hi, Silver. All right. So I think we have most of our regulars here, so I think we are going to get started. Hi, everyone. So I'm feeling a little bit under the weather. I hope to God it's just the normal flu. I get so nervous these days, but yeah. So I'm not even drinking. I was gonna fake the funk and go over and get a bottle of Gewerztraminer, but I was like, you know what? Let me just keep it 100% authentic. I can't drink. I can't really smell anything, so it doesn't even make sense to do it. But I still wanted to have the tasting group because we were still super excited about this Gewerztraminer. How many people got Gewerztraminer? You guys can just unmute yourselves if you want to talk freely. Okay, so show me your Gewerztraminer. Who has Gewerztraminer? Let's see. Let me do a gallery view. Oh, Simin Sung. I always say that wrong. Show me the bottle. Show me the bottle.
I don't have Gewerztraminer, sadly.
Okay, what do you have? Let's see. Who is that by, Silver?
Ziegler. Ziegler.
Is it South African?
No, it's again French. Alsace. Alsace.
Yeah, from Alsace. I'm probably saying it
But
wrong,
you
too.
know, I used to date a guy named Ziegler. I didn't even notice that. I probably won't like it.
What's it? She's already determining if she's gonna like it or not. Okay, so let's just go through
I said I used to date a guy named Ziegler.
I
Oh,
already putting a bad taste in your mouth about the wine. All right, so let's go through what everybody is drinking before we get started. And so, like I said, today I am drinking lots and lots of water because I am feeling a bit under the weather. So I'm trying to nurse myself back to health before it gets too bad. And speaking of that, I wish Takura was here because Takura, I found out, is this amazing chef. And he has this YouTube channel where he's like going over wine tasting and all this cool things with food and with wine. And he's like low key a celebrity. So I was like, you've been with us this whole time. And he hasn't even told us about his famousness. So Takura, tell us what you're drinking. Tell us the YouTube channel so we can all make sure we support you.
yes.
Yeah, no, I'm hardly a celebrity. People in my house don't know my name. I couldn't find any Gewerztraminer in Harare all day today, so I've got two Rieslings. So they're kind of in the similar family.
Yeah, very aromatic. So
Yeah,
perfect.
both aromatics. So I've decided to stay within the family, but sadly couldn't get any Gewerztraminer.
Okay, well we will deal with that. Who's okay? And your YouTube channel? Can you tell us the name?
Oh, Chef Takura. Everything is just under Chef Takura.
So Chef
One word.
Takura, you guys can just look him up on YouTube. Look him up on Instagram. We expect to be like on your show or something. You can cook for us. We can watch. Maybe help us cook or something. I have ideas.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Yeah, no, we can do something definitely.
We should definitely do something. All right. Mtakuzu. I've been practicing.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, Chef Takura is a celebrity. I did an online tasting with him just recently when he did like a 30-second slot. But I'm drinking a blend by Kumusha Wines. So I'm enjoying that.
Hey,
Is it
Yeah.
the white wine blend or is it his new
The
one?
Flame Lily. It's called a Flame Lily and it's a white wine blend. Yeah.
Oh,
that's
that's
the
his
new
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 one
one.
too. Hercules. I haven't gotten his wines yet. I need to place an order. Tinashe,
Gorgeous.
okay. I can't wait to see how that one is tasting. And I want to know the grapes in that one. So do you know the grapes in that one? I know it's a white wine blend, but do you know which grapes he used?
I'm going to butcher them. I think Chef Takura can tell you because there's a Chenin, there's a Colombar, there's a Semillon, and is it a Roussanne? Is that how you say it? Roussanne?
Musan. Yeah,
Yeah,
Musan.
Roussanne, yes. Yeah.
Nice. So it's kind of a blend from all over the world grapes. Like,
yeah, yeah.
Gorgeous.
Okay, I can't wait to taste. I can't wait to virtually taste that one with you and to see how it's tasting because I'm definitely gonna purchase his wines. Okay, so let's go on to Tatu. Tatu, what are you drinking? Oh, can you unmute your phone?
I'm drinking Gewerztraminer, and I've been practicing, but I can't get it right.
I think
So
you said it perfectly.
really,
Yeah, say it one more time.
Gewerztraminer.
So Gewerztraminer.
Gewerztraminer.
Perfect. Yes.
I've been practicing for a week, but I still can't get it. So I'm gonna just throw a towel.
You can just call it the Big G.
Okay. So it's from Elvis Thrift.
Elvis Trift. Okay, perfect. And that's in South Africa, right?
Yes, it's from a warm region, Stellenbosch.
Nice. Can't wait to taste it. Okay. Don. Hey, Don. How are you? Don is calling in from Florida. He's been so faithful to the group. We love you, Don.
Love you too, guys. Yeah, love you too, guys. What's up? How are you guys doing?
Good.
I am drinking Gewerztraminer. It's from Alsace, France. I just got it. It's still a little warm, but it was in the freezer, so hopefully it'll be fine when I drink it. But yeah, I'm excited. I've had Gewerztraminer before, like years ago, so it's gonna be interesting to see how it's gonna be today. Yeah, with all the knowledge and the panel that I have here, so it's gonna be great.
I'm super excited. I am so excited. Everybody went through the extra. I know it was a lot of effort to go get Gewerztraminer because it's not a super popular grape. So thank you so much for going through the extra effort to get Gewerztraminer or to get a good substitute. Like, you know, I feel like the Roussanne blend and then the Rieslings are perfect substitutes where they're still going to have very aromatic characteristics. So thank you so much. Julie, Hey, welcome, Julie.
Unmute. Hi, everyone. So I've got the big G. Can you see it or not?
Okay, a little bit more. Okay, there you go. And it's Afrikaans. I can't say it.
Can anyone pronounce that?
See there. Can you turn the label just a little bit? Does it say
It's like LT. It's like LT, like alternative, and then a DG, D Ged Atcht. I'll try.
Okay.
Can you put it up? Ooh.
There, turn it a little bit. There we go.
That looks Dutch almost.
Yeah, so it says it's from the Tygerberg Hills near Durbanville.
Nice, near Durbanville. Okay,
so it'll be my first time to have this wine. I'd never heard of it before.
I think that region, I could be mistaken, but I think that region is a little bit of a cooler region compared to Stellenbosch when I say cooler.
So that's probably good, right, for a white wine?
Yeah. So if anybody knows that region, please just correct me and let me know if I'm right or if I'm wrong. But I think it might be a cooler region compared to Stellenbosch.
Durbanville's right next to town, isn't it? It's like really close to Cape Town on the way.
It's closer, yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's much closer.
But I think Elgin and Walks Bay and Constantia, those are like cooler regions.
Very cool.
Yeah, with mountains.
Those are like the only 4 cooler regions from my knowledge from Cape Wine Academy, but I don't know, I might be wrong.
No, you probably are right.
I think you're right. Because Durbanville's too flat.
Durbanville's too flat?
Yeah, and Tygerberg, it's a big sort of flat area, isn't it, Tata? Or anyone else from Cape Town? Big flat area.
It's still going to be a warmer region.
Yeah, that's what I think. Yeah.
And then Monica, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking. Let's see here. Get the lighting right. Gewerztraminer. Yes, and it's a 2019. So I'm curious.
Yeah, so it's very young, and I've tasted that Sing Sung a lot. I like Sing Sung, one of my favorite people in the world. He's the brand ambassador, Denzel. So hey, Denzel, everybody give a shout out to Denzel. Like Washington, but South African version. All right, and then Wanda, welcome Wanda to the group. What are you tasting today? Oh, you have to unmute your phone. Unmute your computer.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
It's a Niertlingshof and Gewerztraminer, and from Stellenbosch. So 2019. I looked quite here in Durban. I looked at 3 bottle stores who didn't have it. Then I found it today. So there was.
So 3 bottle stores later. I love it. And what year is that one?
It's new. It's 2019. It's just a recent one. The only one they had. The only one I found. But it's got all these little things on the top. A platter, 4-star, a Novara Torah Award, and a Tim Atkins Master Wine 90, whatever those mean. But it had all these little labels.
It has a lot of accolades that makes the bottle very pretty, right?
Because it's the only one I found.
No, I'm super excited about it. So everybody can just get their wine poured and then we'll get started. Let's see. All right, so hi everybody watching on Facebook. If you have a comment, let me turn this down. If you have a comment or a question on the Facebook, you don't want to join us on Zoom, just put it in the comments and we'll try to get to you. But we are going to get set up. So everybody, thank you so much. Just for like the gram, can everybody just hold up their wine bottle one time, just so I can take a picture right quick and then just smile. Turn the camera around. Okay.
You got 2.
Yeah. Oh, 2. I know. Double fisted. I love it. Okay. Got it. So I got the picture. So let's start this tasting. So as you guys know, there's 2 methods. There's 2 primary methods that mostly everyone knows about, right? So you're going to have the Court of Master Sommeliers, and then you're going to have the WSET method. And what we've been doing is we've just been doing a combination of both of those methods, mixed in with a little bit of Tuanni, mixed in with a little bit of all of you. And so I feel like we're going to keep that going. This is meant to not be too serious. Like, I don't want to be too stuffy, but I do want everybody to walk away with ways and tools that they can describe their wine in a way that they can communicate it to somms in a restaurant. They can communicate it to their customers. If you work in the wine industry, that's a language that's universal, right? So sometimes we'll come up with our own things, but like when I say, oh, I like my red wine like Idris Alba, not everybody's going to know what that is, right? So even though that's fun and we will continue with those things, we also want to focus on like actual universal languages of wine tasting. So the first thing we're going to do is everybody's going to look at their wine. So everybody look at their wine and let's talk about the clarity of the wine. Is it clear? Is it dull? Is it, you know, last week we had, I think it was it last week or was I tasting with my friends? But we had, no, it was last week when we had the unfiltered organic wine. But so what does everybody's wine look like? Hold your glass up. Tell me. Clear, clear. Anybody have a dull wine?
Clear. Not very clear.
Yeah.
Very nice. All right. And so then after you look at the color, you want to look at the color intensity, right? So if everything is clear, you can just say, okay, it's perfect. It's clear. It's brilliant. But what about the intensity of your wine? Is it like pale? Is it medium? Is it intense?
Medium.
Medium?
Yeah, medium.
Let's say medium too.
Medium?
At least medium.
It's pale straw, or do you call it pale yellow?
Pale straw for me would be
Yeah, pale straw.
a little bit of greenness to it, but pale yellow would be more yellow. Pale yellow, okay. So would you say pale yellow or pale straw?
I think it's pale straw.
Pale straw, okay. And then is it anybody's light or just pale?
Yeah.
Mine.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. The second one of the 2 that I'm having is much paler. So I'm having a look at a 2014 and a 2018. So they are looking like they should look. Like the 2014 is looking a bit more deeper in hue, and then the 2018 is much lighter.
And okay, so that's perfect. So we all understand why that happens, right? So as white wine gets older, it gets darker as it ages in the bottle.
This is pretty yellow. It's definitely not straw.
It's definitely not straw. Yours is a strong yellow.
It's quite, quite yellow.
That's what I was expecting from a Gewerztraminer, but it could be the different regions, right? So like, I'm not sure, is yours from Stellenbosch or was yours from a different region? Stellenbosch?
Yeah.
And then Tatu, what region was yours from?
Mine is from a cooler region. It's from actually one region. It's from Stellenbosch.
Oh, and hers is from Stellenbosch as well. Okay, so but we can all agree that it's about medium in intensity, and then we're getting some like yellow, like pale plus, like to medium colors.
Medium.
Yeah, medium.
But mostly for the most part, medium, right? So this medium intensity of the color, and then the yellow. So let's talk about what kind of yellow it is. Would you say that it's definitely yellow, or yellow with hints of green, or greenish yellow, golden yellow? What color yellows are you guys getting?
Mine's golden yellow, I think.
I'm a golden yellow.
Golden yellow, okay.
Mine is too golden yellow, almost a tint of, it's like an orangey tint.
Ooh.
Nice.
I would say like a lemony yellow. I don't know if that's a thing.
No, lemon yellow for me, lemon yellow sounds like it's a bright yellow. So like maybe for me, if I saw a wine that was like a lemon yellow, I would think that maybe it came from a cooler region, or maybe it was a young white wine. So lemon yellow is definitely a color, but I'm thinking bright yellow when you say lemon yellow.
Yeah, very bright for sure.
Okay, and yours is from Alsace, right?
Yeah, Alsace, yeah.
Oh, mine's from Alsace too. Mine's is more of a medium gold.
But what year is yours, Silver?
2017.
And what year is yours, Dawn?
2018.
Yeah, so yours is a little bit, maybe that 1 year makes a difference, maybe.
Yeah.
So, okay. Takura.
Yes. No, so I'm looking at the two of them. One is a 2014, so that's much more on the yellow. I said straw, and then the other one looked like pale straw.
Pale straw. Okay,
so I'd say on the same spectrum, but it's just one's deeper than the other.
And remember, he's drinking the Riesling. He's not drinking the Gewerztraminer, you guys. Okay.
Okay.
And then you want to notice if there's any a rim, but you're mostly going to see the rim in red wines, and that would be just like yes or no. We're not going to even talk about the rim right now. You're going to talk about the legs or the tiers, and that's when you hold the wine in the glass, and then the things that run down the side of it, right? Those are the legs, or what some people will call the tiers. You guys see any of that? That's going to indicate how much alcohol is in the wine.
Yes, and my tiers are very close together.
Very close together. And are they running fast? Or are they running slow?
Fast. Well, I don't know. Maybe I should have used a cleaner glass.
We can always come back to the tiers too, because the tiers will change in your glass as it sits in your glass. So you don't have to make a determination about the tiers right now. But now we're gonna go to the nose. So everyone smell your wine. So remember how I like to do it? So I like to smell it, and then I like to swirl it. So then everyone swirl the wine, and then you want to smell again. And then you want to notice, first of all, you just want to notice if the wine smells clean or unclean. So like if it's unclean,
oh my God,
that it might smell like it has some kind of fault to it. Like it might smell like tennis shoes. It might smell like it just is not going to smell appeasing. Or does it smell clean? Like it definitely smells like fruits, and it definitely smells like wine, right? So
yes.
Anybody have an unclean wine? No. One of the my favorite things about Gewerztraminer is that it is very aromatic. So like when you smell this wine, you should be noticing lots of like baking spices, floral notes, maybe some leche. Don't mean to like guide you guys, but I do love the way Gewerztraminer smells. After you smelled it, would you say that it's the intensity of the smell? Is it light? Is it medium? Is it medium plus? Is it pronounced? How intense is the wine?
I would say mine is more of a medium plus, only because I can really smell these fruits.
Did you guys have to use a password to get in?
No, I just used the link.
Just
Perfect. I'm just going to tell her to just click on the link.
no, I didn't.
If they're suspicious, don't let them in.
I'm not. You know I am not. I've learned my lesson. I don't even recognize them. If I have not seen them on Facebook commenting or anything, they're not coming in. But that's Caldine. So sorry, I just wanted to make sure we let her in. Caldine, just click the link that's in the comments, and then you can come in and you can join us. Or anybody else who's on Facebook and you guys want to join us. But I'm so sorry. So I didn't mean to get off topic. But so what did we say about the intensity? Anybody say light? Yes.
Oh, yours?
Takusu says light. And then anybody say medium?
Or at least medium.
Medium? What about medium plus?
Oh, yeah.
I would say medium plus for sure.
Okay, medium plus for sure. And then anybody say pronounced?
No, medium plus.
I was expecting to see, I was expecting for it to be medium plus to pronounced for Gewerztraminer. So I'm surprised. So
Maybe because it's so young that it's just medium plus.
Just medium plus. Okay, anybody else have any reasons why they think it's just medium plus?
I think it's medium plus. I didn't give it pronounced because I feel like it's just overpowered with the fruits that I'm smelling. And I'm not really yet smelling anything else to make it more pronounced for me, if that.
Okay, now there's a difference between pronounced and complex, right? So we're not talking about complex, we're talking about pronounced. Like when you put your nose in the glass, does the aroma just go kind of like whoosh? And you can just tell that there's fruits, there's flowers, there's baking spices. Okay, so no, so then we'll keep it at medium plus for everybody's Gewerztraminer.
They're fresh and clean. That's why I'd say medium plus, not intense.
Okay, so it's fresh and clean. So the aromas are more like just structured and not like just poof. Okay, that makes sense. What about you, Takura?
The 2014 is like bang, like lots of flavor, lots of everything. And then the 2018's super restrained, like it's not really giving me too much on the nose. So I don't want to hijack the Gewerztraminer people. I'm like doing my own thing on the side here. But yeah, like I do like the 2014. It is super intense. Like it's got really, really vivid lemony, honeyed notes.
And so I wonder, and that's a question, let's put a pin in that, right? Because I wonder if you let a Gewerztraminer or a Riesling stay in the bottle for a longer time, do the flavors and the aromas become more intense? So let's put a pin in that question. We're talking to Takura, and from his two comparisons, I would say yes, but I don't know if it's just because it's the varietal, it's the winemaker, or whatever. But let's put a pin in that question. If anybody on Facebook knows the answer, please let us know. And if you guys know the answer, if you have an answer after this, after we go through the tasting, let me know. And speaking of that, we can talk to who had the 2004. Wait, did somebody have a 2014?
It's Takura.
That's me.
No, Don,
But I'm on the Riesling though.
I'm 2018.
Yours was 2018, and Silver, yours was 2017, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So we talked about the intensity of the nose, and then let's just talk about the development. How is it developing in the bottle? So, like, is it youthful? Is it developing? Is it fully developed? Is it tired? Is it oxidized? Is it oxidized? And so when you drink a wine, like sometimes you'll say, oh, this wine is really, really like young for the most part, right? It's bright flavors. It's kind of like over intense. It's too much, right? It's kind of like a toddler that's running around in your nose and you're kind of like, okay, calm down, right? That can mean that it's youthful. Or is it developing? Where, you don't really smell the aromas. Like we were saying, maybe it just needs more time in the bottle for those aromas to develop. So, or is it fully developed? Like it's just there. I think that that's like probably like, not like the toddler, but like the teenager who's like 19. They're not in high school, but they're working and they're doing their job and you're proud of them. And, that's how I would imagine a developed flavor or aroma would taste or smell like. And then tired just means that, you know what, it's too old. You're smelling it. You're not getting any kind of fruit flavors, no flowers, no nothing. It's just tired. It's just had, it's had its fair share of the game already. And then oxidized means that maybe you left it on your wine rack for too long. And so now it's kind of went towards like vinegar. So anybody have oxidized wine? Yeah. Okay. Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Smells beautiful.
Okay, beautiful, right? So everybody, would you say it's between fully developed or developing or youthful?
I think mine is not aggressive.
But the flavors and the aromas are there, right?
I'm actually, from the nose, I'm picking up the floral, the potpourris, and I picked up the rose petals, spicy lychee. Yeah. So
I would probably say yours is developing, right? Because maybe if you left it in the bottle, then you might get some secondary aromas, or they just might be like different aromas, more complex. But it sounds like it's maybe between developing and fully developed.
Mm-hmm. So will you say that it's femme?
Did you say firm?
I said it's not aggressive.
Yes, but they're still there, right? So that's why I say that they're like developing or fully developed, like right in between. That would be my personal opinion. If anybody has anything different, please, please, please just, okay. I'm gonna let Caldine in.
Yeah, I think mine's developed. 3 years.
Okay, developed. All right. So then after you talk about, let's see, that, now let's just talk about the aroma characteristics. Like what aromas are you actually smelling in this wine, right? So this is my favorite part. And you start off with, you know, I like to start off with fruits, right? Because fruits are my favorite things in wine. So like, let's start off with fruits. What kind of fruit aromas are you smelling in this wine? If you had to say, what kind of fruits does it remind you of?
A ripe pear.
Nice.
Yes.
A ripe pear. Okay. Silver agrees with that. She's like, yes, that's
I
it.
got it right.
You know what? I'm not, okay, so everybody, I'm not sipping today because I'm sick, so that's why this might be a little bit awkward on Facebook. But pear and lychee, they taste the same to me. They remind me of the same thing. And so whenever I smell or taste Gewerztraminer, I always say leche, right? But pear and leche are definitely similar, especially when you have a ripe pear. Welcome, Caldine.
Hi, Tuanni. I'm so sorry I'm late.
No worries. Can you just catch up and tell us what you're drinking?
Okie dokie. So I've got the Zevenwacht Gewerztraminer. It's from a 35-year-old vine. So it's quite an old vine that it comes from. It's quite special, and I think it's barrel matured as well. If you look at the color, maybe.
Oh, nice. So it has, so it does look very yellow. So it has some oak on it then. And then,
Yes.
and what year is it?
It's a 2016.
2016. Yeah. Okay, cool. So it does, I see that color on that.
Definitely.
So anybody else for the fruit? So we said pear, we said ripe pear. Anything else in the fruit that you're smelling for the fruit?
It's funny because actually I've got quite a lot of rose.
Rose, that's a good one.
Fragrant.
That's a great one. Rose, potpourri. I mean, like, definitely Gewerztraminer is known for having the fruit, the flowers.
It's very floral.
Yes. So anybody else with the fruits before we move on to the flowers?
Well, what came up for me was appley, you know, a real sort of lovely aromatic apple. That's the first thing that.
What color apple would you say? Red apple or green apple?
A green.
A green apple? Okay, nice. Anybody else for the fruit?
Did anyone say lychee already?
Lychee.
Lychee, yeah, we were just saying that.
Yeah. And when you said lychee, I mean, that also came up. Yeah. But it wasn't what I thought of. It's what I smelled after someone else hinted at it. And I see on the label it says lychee.
But I think too, my favorite martini when I go to a Japanese restaurant is the lychee martini. And I love lychee, so that's probably why I would say lychee right away. But if you're not really used to having that fruit, then it wouldn't be something that came to mind firsthand. And I think that that's what we all have to remember in tasting too, because when people say, oh, it smells like black currant and gooseberries, I call bullshit, because I'm like, you have never tasted a black currant, you have never held a gooseberry, most people, right? So you really have to like think about the fruits that you eat every day and see if you can pick out those things in the wine. Or go to the farmer's market and try to find some gooseberries and some black currants. I've been able to find gooseberries. So, but anyway. All right, so let's go to the floral. And I apologize for cursing everybody. So let's go to the floral. So what floral aromas are you guys smelling? So Tatu already said like white roses, which I think is a perfect description for Gewerztraminer, but any other flowers?
I'm not too familiar with flowers, but I feel like it's a white, sweet flower.
I think that's a perfect description because I'm not too familiar with flowers either. I love flowers, but I don't know the name of the flowers, and I don't necessarily buy flowers for aromas. I buy them for how they look.
Yeah.
So there's certain flowers like a white rose. I know how a white rose smells, and for me, a white rose smells different than a red rose, right? I know how jasmine and I know how lavender, how they smell. So just think about if you can't think about a specific flower, that was perfect, Silver. So you want to go with the color of the flower and maybe some kind of description of how this flower would smell. And then if somebody knew something about flowers, they could say, oh yeah, that's a lilac, which she's describing our honeysuckle. Maybe like a honeysuckle. So she said sweet white flowers. Anybody else have any different color flower?
I don't think any different.
What did you say, Claudine?
I don't think I pick up any different type of color flower, but like when you said jasmine, I was like, oh, yes, definitely.
Yeah. When you think about jasmine rice, even like that perfuminess of like, you know, that's what I'm thinking of when I smell Gewerztraminer. Okay, so we talked about the fruit, we talked about the floral. Let's talk about like vegetables. Like, do you guys? I don't think you should get any of that, but no like green pepper. No, okay, that's perfect. Then you guys are all smelling the right type of wine. But let's talk about the spice. So spice is one of my favorite things. So I don't know if you guys know this, but Gewerztraminer. So Gewürz means spice, and Traminer means land. So it means that like land of the spice. So Gewerztraminer is known for the spices in it. And it's not like the same thing as a Syrah where you have these black pepper or pink pepper or white peppers. It's more like baking spices. Unless somebody smells like black pepper or something like that, just tell me. But I'm thinking...
Sorry, is that word Afrikaans as well? When you said it's the land of the spice, is that Afrikaans or German?
I think that's German. I think
because it looks like German.
Yeah, it's German.
Okay.
Yeah, it's German. Sorry,
just before you move on.
I don't speak any Afrikaans. I know how to say donkey, and I don't even think I say that right. So I apologize.
What is it?
African folks. Thank you. Donkey means donkey. I don't know.
Thank you. Yeah, okay. Which is like German anyhow.
All right. So what spices
I think with mine, the spices will be Asian spices.
Like Asian spices?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of some Asian spices that I can think of. I kind of know what you mean.
That's clove?
Clove, a little bit of, what about a little bit of nutmeg?
Nutmeg.
Oh yeah, nutmeg.
Nutmeg, right?
Nutmeg is a thing, sure.
Yes.
Don, what did you say?
No, I'll just seconding that nutmeg kind of pops out when you say it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, just think about baking spices. Think about like if you were making like a cake, but you were this cake with fruits and flowers, and it's gonna have these different layers, and then you just sprinkled some nutmeg on top. Anybody else for the spice? Nope. All right, Takara, what about this? What about the Riesling?
Yeah, I was just about to say, I feel like everyone's like doing a waltz and I'm like over here doing a cha-cha. But the Riesling spices though, I got a lot of that jasmine note. Strange thing that was taught to me a long time ago in a wine tasting class was geranium, which is a type of flower which kind of tastes like sherbet. I get that kind of note from this wine as well.
I even had those in my backyard. I had geraniums in my backyard, but I could not tell you how they smelled.
I didn't know they smelled.
Yeah, I can tell you they grow like wildfire, but I could not tell you how they smell. And I have that in my backyard. So that's why flowers are so hard for me. I need to, like, when this is all over, you guys come to Cape Town, let's just go to the flower mart and be weirdos and smell all the different flowers. Yes. Who wants to be a weirdo with me? Okay. Okay, so now the stuff that we have all been waiting for. I know some people have not waited for this, but it's time to taste the wine. So everybody take a sip of the wine. I know some of you guys have already cheated and you've already been sipping on it, if that's fine.
I wanted to cheat.
Guilty.
So take a sip of the wine and let's just talk about how this wine tastes and feels on your palate. So let's just start off, first of all, would you say this wine was sweet, Is it dry, off dry, medium dry, or is it sweet?
I've got a try entry with good fruit following through my nose. So the aromas are really confirming what the nose are talking about.
Okay.
Mine's also quite dry, like very, very dry.
Nice. Anybody else?
Yeah, mine's quite dry. Karen.
Go ahead, Julie.
Go ahead, Wanda.
I was going to say,
Mine is off dry. It's very fruit forward.
Okay. And then Wanda?
it's sort of, I get dry and sort of minerally.
Dry and minerally. Okay. And then Julie, what were you gonna say?
Yeah, the bottle says dry on the information on the back, and I don't disagree, but it's I find it a little bit sweet, towards the sweet side. So if I hadn't have read the label, I would have said it's just a little bit sweet.
So that's Untakuzo. Did you want to say anything? Okay, so I mean, I think that that's one of the characteristics of Gewerztraminer, right? So a lot of wineries make it dry. So when they ferment it dry. So they ferment all the residual sugars out of it. But when you taste it, it has this sensation of sweetness because it's so floral, because it has the spices, aromas. So
That's it.
you know, it's dry, but you could get off dry on the palate because of all those floral spices and aromas. But yeah, so that's when somebody says they like sweet wines, and I don't really have any sweet wines in my house, I might serve them like a Gewerztraminer or a dry Riesling because they're still going to get that sensation of sweetness. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Perfect. So we talked about the sweetness level. Let's talk about the acidity. So how's the acidity? So acidity is the backbone for white wine. So acidity, if there's no acidity, the white wine could just seem flabby and it can be uninteresting. But what about the acidity in this wine? Would you say that it's low, medium, medium plus, or high?
I think mine's medium plus. It's quite, it's up there.
Nice. Okay. Anybody else?
I'll go with just medium with mine.
Okay. Anybody else? Anybody have low acidity?
Mine is low in acidity.
You think it's low in acidity?
I think so.
Why would you say it's
low? To moderation.
So maybe it's medium. Why would you say it's low? So I feel like if a white wine is low in acidity, you would be able to, you should definitely be able to describe that or say, you know what, it's a little bit flabby. It's not, it doesn't have any structure in your mouth. That would mean that it's low in acidity. If it's medium in acidity, that means that the acidity is not so pronounced like a Sauvignon Blanc, but you can still feel the acidity there, right? And then,
I was going to say that in comparison to Sauvignon Blanc, I feel like this one is a little bit low, but I mean, overall, Sauvignon Blanc is high in acidity.
Yes.
So I'll say medium then.
Perfect. So does everybody kind of understand that? Like if you use Sauvignon Blanc as like your baseline for high acidity, you can't expect most wines to have acidity that feels like that in your mouth. And just because they don't doesn't mean that it's like low. It could just be medium acidity. So I hope that makes sense. If anybody has anything different to Cora, if you have anything different, he knows I'm going to pick on him now that I know he's like a superstar.
No, so I've got the two wines. The first wine was a 2014 Riesling. Really, really nice to smell, like super interesting, loads of smells going on. And then 2018, which is a little bit more shy. But on the palate, it's like a complete role reversal. The 2014 gets a bit flat, so it's run out of acid. It's kind of come to the end of its life. And then the 2018 is super flat, super fresh, super interesting. So yeah, just interesting to look at the two of them together.
I think that that's a good point that you make too, because wines don't always taste how they smell, right? So you have the two wines that you're kind of comparing, and then you notice that one smells amazing, but the other one tastes amazing. So yeah, very cool. Anybody else want to talk about the acidity in the wine? All right. So what about
I
the
think mine's
alcohol?
long.
Yeah. Plus.
What about the alcohol level? How does your alcohol level feel? So like, and when you talk about the alcohol, is it low? Is it medium? Medium plus? Is it high? Is it fortified? So I don't think anybody has a fortified wine here. So then you would just start off with like low, medium, medium plus, or high. And when it's high, it's almost like you're drinking cognac, but it's wine, so you can feel that burning in your chest, which is not really a good characteristic of wine. That would be high.
If you
Low
get
would
like
be,
warm.
yeah, like the warmness, right?
Mm.
And then the medium would be like you can taste the alcohol, but it's not like sticking out like a sore thumb. And then light would mean that you just can't taste the alcohol. Like if somebody
Oh
said,
no, I
hey,
can taste.
you
Yeah.
know,
I don't taste the alcohol. I taste the acidity because I was about to start dribbling. But hold on. But then it
Make sure you
sneaks up.
only dribble in your mask, Silver.
Yes.
Don't dribble on anyone.
Yes. But then the alcohol sneaks up right here. Like I don't taste it within my mouth like some other wines, but it's like a delay response
okay.
in my throat.
So I would probably call that alcohol like medium. Ooh, medium plus maybe medium. Just one medium. Is that
Mine is
high?
high in alcohol.
Let's see. Did somebody have us on their computer? And okay, wait a second. I think there we go. How much alcohol is in your silver?
12.5.
12.5. Okay. So it's not too alcohol. Like I would say medium. Anybody else?
I've got 13.5, so I'll say it's high in alcohol.
Yeah, that's like a little bit high on the for white wine, but I would probably say medium plus.
So yeah, personally for me, there was like a burning sensation down my throat. So I'll probably say high in alcohol, and it has 14%. So I'm getting close
That
there.
is. Yeah, sure.
That's pretty high, and that's pretty high. And Gewerztraminers don't usually, that I know of, don't usually go that high. So that's really weird for a French wine. I think they
Yeah.
made that purposely for the American market because they know we love our alcohol. Yes, we do.
We want to party.
Yes.
So that's a question I have, because my Gewerztraminer, in my opinion, isn't high in alcohol at all. And I didn't even look at the label. I was just like, cool, it doesn't give me any of that weird sensation. It's just very easy drinking. And then you mentioned that Gewürztraminers don't usually have a high alcohol. Why is that?
I mean, I think that certain grapes produce more alcohol than other grapes when you're going through the harvest process. So, for example, Syrah. Syrah, I've had some Syrahs that are like 15%, some that are 15.5, 16% alcohol, right? And that grape, when you go through the winemaking process and you ferment it, it just has like a lot of sugars, a lot of, it just makes a lot of alcohol. Gewürztraminer and Riesling, like I've never had a Riesling unless it was like fortified or something like that, that was over like 13% alcohol.
Wow.
And so that's when I say, I mean, I guess obviously it's possible, but usually they're just not that high in alcohol.
Because
And what's
mine's
the alcohol level?
12%. 12. And that's like the lowest for this wine estate. They do like Syrah, it'll have like 14.5 or 13. And that's why I was so shocked that it's 12. It's very strange.
Yeah, so when you think about alcohol, and aside from the French market, I'm thinking about like New World wines, America, South Africa. 13.5% for white wines is pretty average, right? That's pretty like the go-to, which you'll see in the stores. 12%, 11%, that's going to be on the lower side of alcohol. So red wine is definitely on the lower side of alcohol, and then you really can't. You said you didn't get too much of the sensation for it.
Nothing. Yeah, it just feels like it's very, I get more sensation in my mouth than I do anywhere else, but it's not an alcoholic sensation. Like it's not like, whoa.
Nice. That's what you want.
But
All
also,
right.
Hey,
also with,
Calvin. Go ahead.
oh, sorry. No, you go ahead, Monica.
Okay, I was gonna ask, is your wine chilled? Because I noticed the more my wine warms up, the more, the less easier it is as far as alcohol sensation.
This is not so chilled. This one's like quite warm, as you can see, but I do have an ice baggie to keep it cold. My
Nice.
little wine bursts.
I love it.
That's
So
good.
let us know when you pour your fresh glass if that changes for you.
No.
Takura?
I was going to say, on the alcohol as well, picking of the grapes, they tend to pick aromatic varieties earlier than all the rest. So they don't let the sugars get that high. So there isn't that much
Alright.
to convert into alcohol.
Mhm.
Purely because they want to keep that acidity structure right there. So if they want to make a Riesling that lasts a long time, it's the acid that really helps it go longer. So sometimes I do pick them a bit earlier, but they've got enough fruit sugars in there, enough fruit notes to keep them to look after the acid and to keep everything in balance.
Yay! And so I love that explanation. Thank you so much, Takura, because remember we were saying when you taste these wines, you're kind of, deductive tasting is all about trying to figure out, well, why is it this way? Why don't I really feel the alcohol? Like, what did they do during the winemaking process that would result in these fruit flavors? Because it's all about like the behind the scenes when you're doing these deductive tastings. So thank you so much for that, Takura, that explanation.
Okay.
Anybody else want to
ask something? Like, I just feel like this is like silky and a little bit oily. Is anybody picking up that?
I do.
I do.
What's that, Tato?
Well, I was just saying that I'm picking up. It's more silky and very oily, and I just wanted to know if anybody's picking up or I'm just getting drunk.
No, I think so now we're going to talk about, I think that's a perfect segue though, because now we're going to talk about the texture of the wine, right? So like, what's the texture of this wine feel like? And then that texture is going to determine how you judge the body. So then that texture will tell you if it's a light, medium, medium plus, or full body white wine. So she's saying that hers is silky and oily like for the texture, right? And so for me, that's definitely not going to be light body. That's definitely going to be more towards the medium because you're saying that oiliness, it's going to kind of like coat your tongue a little bit and like weigh down on your tongue. So would you say that this wine for you, Tatu, is light bodied, medium plus bodied, or full bodied?
Definitely this is a medium body to full body.
Okay, perfect. And so anybody else want to talk about the body of the wine?
I think mine is definitely medium plus. I have that exact same like sensation that Tatu is talking about. It's very like when I take a sip, it just covers every edge of my tongue with this like silky feeling, which I like a lot.
I know. I'm wishing that I wasn't sick and you were right here drinking that with me. So Calvin was supposed to come to my apartment today, and she was going to bring that wonderful wine for me to sip. But yeah,
next time.
Yeah, next time. Anybody else want to talk about the body of their wine? So how does this wine feel on your tongue and why? So before you even say that it's medium, full, or light body, just tell me how it feels on your tongue. How is it? Is it dancing with your tongue? Is it just like cruising over your tongue? How does it feel in your mouth?
Due to the acid or the acidic composition, it feels like it covers my whole mouth. So it's a party going on. Okay. And I can feel it up in here as well. So I think it's about a medium.
Okay, so
I wanted it to, right, but it doesn't like overpower, like, you know, like a red or anything. So but it just coats my whole mouth.
Nice. So medium bodied. Anybody else?
I'm a medium body. I was surprised. I haven't had Gewerztraminer, the big G.
The big G.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna call it. In a very, very long time. And I was introduced to it once before, but I wasn't aware of wine like I am now. And I was thinking that it was going to be like a Riesling, lighter. And so it took me by surprise. I used the term in my head, thickness, but that body, it took me by surprise of the body. I have a new respect for the big G.
Yeah. Okay. I've always had respect for the big G, first of all.
I wasn't ready before.
I think you bring up a good point, right? Because a lot of times when people think about Gewerztraminer and they think about Riesling, they put them in the same family, right? And I think that they're totally cousins. But one cousin is a little bit more like chill and relaxed, like beach weather, and then another cousin is more like cabin, mountain weather cousin, you know? And I think the Gewerztraminer, because it has that medium body, it's like if it were summertime, I'm gonna drink Riesling, and then if it were wintertime, I would drink Gewerztraminer. That's kind of how
That
I.
is great. Yeah.
Anybody else? Dawn, did you talk about like how your body feels?
Yeah, I mean, I feel my body is also pretty much medium. You know, it does, you know, feel my mouth. I get this silky, velvety, you know, texture in my mouth, and I'll probably go with a medium on the body side of things as well. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Wanda.
Yeah, there's sort of like an electric intensity that interests me too, because I was pretty negative about Gewerztraminers, thinking of them as a German and a sweeter and a lighter. And sitting here actually tasting this, and when you talked about more in a winter drinking this, it absolutely makes sense. It's lovely. I'm enjoying it hugely. I'm going to try and get another couple of bottles to put in.
Nice. I think it's like your winter white wine. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Takura, did you have anything to say about
Good description, Tuanni.
Thank you.
Yeah, winter white wine. I like that.
As I was saying, I'm actually loving hearing from all you guys about Gewerztraminer. Just because I scoured the city and couldn't find any, so I'm kind of a little bit on the side of the group looking in with envy.
It's okay, me too. I'm drinking water.
Okay, I'm coming second from last in this group. But yeah, like no, I really am enjoying the second Riesling that I have. It's super fresh, super lemony. As you said, summery, which tonight probably isn't the best pick, but it's still a really nice drink.
Nice. All right, so then we're going to talk about the flavor intensity. So we talked about the body and we talked about the alcohol and the acidity. So now you bring all of those together, right? How intense is this on your tongue? Is it like in the flavor? Is it light, medium, medium plus? And then compare the flavor intensity to the aroma intensity, if you can. Who wants to go first? Not everybody at one time.
I'll go.
Okay, Caldi.
I think it's got a very nice, like, I think the biggest thing that I'm picking up on the palate here is the texture. I don't get overwhelming flavors in the wine. So I think that the smell intensity is much more than that of the actual flavor of this wine. It tastes very nice, but if I hadn't smelt it and I'd only tasted the wine, I don't think I'd be able to say, yes, this is a Gewerztraminer, like off the bat. It definitely puts a lot of emphasis on the aromas in the wine, and then that leads to like how you pair it and how you'll enjoy it.
I think that's a great point too, because and that's the whole purpose of doing these. So like even when people aren't professional wine drinkers and they're just like my regular customers, when I say I teach wine tasting classes, they're like, you teach people how to drink wine. I'm like, yes, because when you go through these steps, and we don't go through as many steps like this with my customers, but when you go through these steps, it helps you build up the appreciation for the wine. So like you said, if you just drank the Gewerztraminer, you might be like, okay, it's not really as interesting, right? But when you smell it and you get to talk about all the different layers of aromas, and then by the time you taste it, you can be in love with the wine already. Yeah. So anybody else want to talk about the flavor intensity of the wine?
I think I'm finding more flavor intensity than the nose and smell intensity. I mean, I really am finding an amazing intensity in the, as I said just now, it's sort of like an electric intensity in my mouth.
Yes, in the nose, though, right? That's you
No,
said
in my
more
mouth, in the taste, in the taste.
in the
Yeah,
taste,
yeah, in the taste.
in the taste. Anybody else want to talk about?
Really, the food follow through from the nose, and it's very inviting, and it translates under the palate. The palate is very pronounced, flavored.
Okay, very good. Let's talk now about the length. So what about the length? And then like the flavor, the flavor characteristics. Are you guys getting the same flavors in the wine that you smelled in the wine? Is anybody getting anything different?
Yeah, I'm getting in the same flavors.
So pretty
But
much the same flavors. Okay.
yeah, a
I'm getting
little
a bit
bit
of
of citrus
pineapple.
notes.
And a little bit of citrus notes on the finish, like would you say lime or lemon citrus? Or peach?
I think it's lemon.
Not citrus. Lemon? Okay, a little bit of lemon.
I think the more I go back also, it's kind of like I'm picking up even some ripe fruits flavors.
Grapefruits, okay. I can see the grapefruit.
Yeah, for me, I think like I'm picking up some like tropical fruits, you know, more like pineapple, kind of mangoish, kind of flavors, you know. But I must say, like, you know, it's very different, you know, tasting this wine, comparing, like I said, I had the Big G before when I was in SA, and it's very different. This takes me more close to like a Moscato kind of vibe. I don't know if it's just because maybe the American market like sweet wines, and it's more like very kind of like those sweet undertones are really like pronounced the more I drink it, you know. Yeah.
It does sound like it. No, and I know. I don't care what winemakers say, but
Yeah,
I know that they make wines for a particular market. So, for example, if you're in France and you drink an Alsace Gewerztraminer, it might taste totally different than what the winemaker is making that they're going to send to the American market, because they say, oh, Americans like a lot of alcohol, they like sweetness, they like this and they like that. So they make their Gewerztraminer in a very different way for exporting than if you were actually in Alsace.
Okay.
And I feel like even in South Africa that happens. You have wineries that will make a wine, but then they have another wine that they're like, oh, we don't even sell this to the South African market. This is only for our American market.
Yeah.
So I think that winemakers do make wine sometimes for their particular market.
Yeah, I also wanted to second Dawn and say that on the palate, that orange, which is very citrus, is also coming through for me.
Okay.
That's cool, because now it's like having these complex, different aromas, like where, you know, it's finishing with something unexpected. And I like that in a wine. But let's talk about the finish. Let's talk about the length of the finish. Would you say it's short, medium plus, or is it a long finish?
Mine has a
Okay, so if you have a long finish, raise your hand or say yes. Okay. If you have a medium finish, okay. If you have a short finish, short, okay.
I've got the two wines. So one is short, the other one's medium plus.
Wait, let me try to guess which one is the medium plus. So the one that's the medium plus is going to be the older one that didn't really smell pronounced, but it tasted more pronounced.
The younger one was the one that tasted more pronounced than it smelled. The older one smelled very pronounced and fantastic, and then on the palate, not so much. So the older one's kind of, she's a bit tired.
The older one, which one has the longer finish?
The younger one.
The younger
but
one.
It's a super fresh and zesty finish rather than the other one, which is probably a bit more dull, a bit more melon, honeyed kind of finish.
Nice.
Yeah. But if I told you what I paid for both of them, it makes sense. Like the older one was quite cheap and it was a punt. I just thought, why not? Because I think it was like $4 or something like that. And then the other one was a bit more expensive.
Nice. So the older one was probably like, you know how like when you go to the store, well, I know this happens a lot.
Barrel, yeah.
Like if you go to like Bethel and then they'll be like they have a sale on the wine because it's at its vintage date, right? So wines that are not like expensive wines that are not meant to age for a very long time. For white wines, you should keep those wines 3 to 5 years. So if you go to a liquor store, it's going to be on this drastic sale because it's going to be like 5 years old from the vintage date. So we're in 2020 right now. So if you go to the store and you see a 2015, they're probably going to be giving it away for a fraction of the price. Yeah. If it's like a 2017, then they probably might have it on sale for like 25% off. And they might say like something like a vintage date sale or something about the vintage. But that's all that means. Like it's at its vintage prime.
Yeah.
All right. And so now let's just make our final conclusion. So remember, when we make these final conclusions, I mean, first we're going to go with like textbook, right? So like overall the wine, and then I want you to give me your personal conclusion of how you feel about the wine. I want it to be very personal. And so remember, for the personal, we came up with the whole grading scheme. You're going to ghost the wine. That means you're going to block it. You're never going to call this wine again. You're going to friend zone the wine, right? Which means that, you know what? If you need a ride somewhere, you need to borrow $20, you know, you can invite this person over for a random Friday night, for game night, friend zone. And then second date. So second date has 2 categories for the most part. You're excited about the second date. You're going to pick out your outfit. Everything's going to be great for the second date. Or it's a second date that you're going on just because you're curious. And then the last category, oh, I'm going to marry this wine. Marry me, right? Put a ring on it. Oh, yes. So those are the categories for your personal conclusion for the wine. But before we do that, and when you answer, everybody's going to answer this question. So let's just talk about the quality of the wine. Would you say it's poor, acceptable, good, or amazing, right? And then give me your personal opinion about the wine. So who wants to start off about their wine?
I think I'll start off.
Okay. Tato, you go.
Okay, I think this is superb and approachable to drink now, not for long though. So I won't really, maybe keeping it for 3 to 5 years. And this is really my wine night stand that I don't want to see again.
Oh, ghost.
Wait, you said you're gonna ghost the wine?
Yeah.
So the wine was exceptional. Oh, girl, you doing a lot. If I find it exceptional, then I'm marrying him. It's hard out here in these streets. Okay. All right. So, and then like the price point, would you say?
I think I'll go and marry my Sauvignon Blanc and my Shannon and the big stick.
All right. So, okay. So who wants to go next? Wait a second.
I'll go next. I think this is a very good Gewerztraminer. I love the aromas. I love the texture. I love everything about it. And it's to me, it's a very good wine. It's one of those things I don't take out for just anybody. It's not like invite your non-wine friends over and let them drink your wine kind of thing. This is for people who can appreciate the work that goes into making this type of wine. So that's my opinion. If I had to dating scale rate it, I would say I'm between like excited second date and marry. Because I feel like it's a special occasion wine. So I'm not even like trying to see it every day. Like, I'm trying to like see it once a year or like twice a year. But I'd be very excited if I saw it once or twice a year.
Budding romance date. I love it. All right. Who's next?
Oh, next.
Oh, go ahead,
Monica.
Well, mine is good. Yours is probably good too, Silver, just like mine. No?
Oh, yes. Yeah, it's
okay.
good.
Okay.
Oh, am I going?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, it's a good one. I think it's a good one. I think for this one, I think the sweet undertones is a little bit too much for me, but I think it's a good wine. And I think it's a great for someone who likes or trying to, you know, increase and I don't know, mature their palate a different way. I'm not sure. However,
restaurant and somebody said to you, "Hey, I'd like a sweet wine," and you didn't have any sweet wines like a Moscato or whatever dessert
right.
wine, would you recommend this wine?
I would recommend this one that I'm drinking now.
So, and then so how you determine if the wine is poor, acceptable, or good quality, or is the wine in line with the typical flavors and the aromas that you expect from that wine? That's one
I
of the.
think it's a good wine.
Okay,
I
perfect.
think it's good wine, and it's good enough because I'm always outside the box that I would excitedly get dressed to dine or to hang out again because it's so yeah, it's gonna get a second date. It's not gonna get, you know, married, but we're gonna have some fun.
Okay, so he's the wine is still in the game. All right, who's next?
That's Monica, right?
Oh, I'm just curious. So mine is good, but my second date, I'm curious about how this wine is going to be in another year, 18 months, maybe even 2 years.
Okay, so she's keeping him on the line just because she wants to see what the potential is. Okay, so second
Exactly.
date curious. That's what she's saying. Second date curious. All right, Julie or Wanda?
I think this is a lovely wine. I'm so surprised. And I do see that it says here that will develop complexity with proper cellaring. It actually says on the label.
Oh, nice.
So it'd be interesting
That's a very nice Gewürz.
Yeah, so it'd be interesting to keep it and try it in a couple of years, I suppose. But I mean, it's very nice now, and I'm quite happy to date it regularly in between, because I'm not much of I'm a bit of a relationship phobic, so I like to have a few regular.
I love it. So when I'm hearing from you,
so this could.
What I'm hearing from you is second date, you're excited, but slow your roll. You're not committing to anything, right away.
Yeah, no, but it's a bit more than that. Yeah, that's not. Very pleasantly surprised. I'd be quite happy. Not disappointed, like one often is. Yeah.
Julie,
So
what do you
thanks for suggesting this.
Yeah, so my wine is very good. I'm very happy with it. It's the first time I've tried the Gewerztraminer. I didn't know it, but it's definitely second date worthy. And I'm just not sure whether I'm excited or keeping it on, on the hook. Just in case.
I'm going to call that second date curious. She didn't sound excited about
second date curious. Yeah.
Second date curious. Yep. And then Ntakazu, I know you're drinking the Kumushu white wine blend that was literally just released, right? And so can you just, we really didn't get to hear from you with the tasting notes, but can you give us a little bit of an overview of how that wine tasted?
Sorry, I just want to say first, though, that although I wasn't drinking either of the two, the Big G or the Riesling, I've always opted for the Riesling instead of the Big G. But I think tonight's conversation, maybe curious second date, because I tasted it before a few occasions and I was like, no, Riesling is better. But, so I'm very curious. So I think the Flame Lily, I mean, it's my first experience. I've tasted Kumusha wines before. It's the first time I've bought them and actually had them at home, the red and the white. And I'm so enjoying it. I think it's more fruity. I didn't taste any of the, sort of anything else that's spicy or anything else that is, other than, the fruit in it. And I quite like it, but I find that as it is sort of warms up, I mean, I enjoy it when it's quite chilled, and then when it warms up, I find it a little bit. It's got like it's quite strong when it finishes. So,
how much alcohol? What's the alcohol content in that?
13.5.
13.5. Okay, which is pretty standard. Now, okay, would you date this wine again? Ghost?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Second date or marriage?
We'll see what happens. It's a new relationship, so we'll see.
So I'm going to put that in the excited second date category, right?
Absolutely.
A marry me wine is as soon as you drink that wine, you go through all these tasting steps, you drink that wine, and you're like, wow, I can't live without this wine in my life. You have to marry me.
I think I need to get over the Chardonnays that I want to marry before I commit to them.
Yeah, and now that could be a problem when you're dating and you're like, I'm used to dating this certain type, and then you date somebody else outside of that type. So yeah. All right. So
I'm open.
Tukara, did we go through everybody besides Tukara? I think Tukara is the last one. Tukara, oh,
And
so
Don. No, Don.
Yeah,
no,
Don.
Don, not. Oh, Don, I'm so sorry.
It's all
Don.
right. Yeah. So for me, I would say I feel the wine for me needs a little bit of more time, I guess, maybe a year or two. But it does say also on the label that it would best to drink it in 5 years, I guess. So second date, curious, but in a different setting. I'll probably say, in South Africa, trying some South African big G's, or I don't know, maybe Australian or New Zealand big G's, I guess. I guess like what Suva said, it was just those sweet undertones were just too much for me personally as well. And I wouldn't really want to get big G's from the States just because of those sweet undertones. They are quite powerful the more you drink it. So big G's maybe from a different country for sure. So yeah, sometime Silva and I can, go to New Zealand or something and try some big G's from there. Monica too, yeah.
New Zealand Gewerztraminer is nice.
Yeah, I've heard. Got it too, yeah.
So wait, what was the final conclusion? Like no second date?
Second date curious, but in a different country, or wine from a different country, like just not, yeah.
Curious, like a destination date, like
like
this is what I'm hearing from you. I'm hearing, you know what? I found something on Tinder that was kind of nice, but I'm not going to not use Tinder again. I'm just going to, maybe change my profile a little bit.
What was called blind order?
That's what I heard. That's what I heard.
Oh, the comrade. Yeah, something in those lines, I would say for sure.
I heard that you want to date other girls from the same village, though.
Is that a bribe order?
Is that a what order? A what?
Bride order? Bride mail order?
Oh, mail order bride. I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time.
I think Takura said it perfectly. Like, I wouldn't date the same girl from the same village, but I'm open to date, a different girl, but from a different village, I say, So.
But you know what, Don? It's actually very ironic because I would have thought that our SAG is actually the best.
Yeah.
French classifications that I would definitely will love to get my hands on it.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised that.
I would probably agree sorry to cut you off. I'll probably agree as well with that. But I guess as Tuanni said that, winemakers, they know their market and they make their wine specifically for their market. So if they knew they were gonna, send this to the US and they know the market here likes, sweet wines, high alcohol, they would make that specific barrel, I guess, or whatever it was, or maybe bottles just for the US market. Maybe if I go to to France and buy the same wine from the same winemaker, it might be very different.
So what I'm hearing from you, this is what I'm hearing from you. In 2021, when the world opens up, we all need to take a trip to Alsace and go taste their wine.
Yes.
Oh my goodness! I am so in.
That's what
I'm down for that.
Yes.
So we can see, because you're right. Alsace should be a great region for Riesling and for Gewerztraminer. That's what it's known for. But I'm telling you, I definitely feel like when some winemakers make wines and send them to the American market, they do them a little bit differently. But Tukara, did everybody go? Because did I miss anybody? Because I'm like, okay. Tukara, can you tell us about your wine? So like you have two wines. Tukara is like on the dating show, right? So he's like on
window number one.
Yeah. Are you going to choose window number 1 or window number 2? Like, just tell us which one first.
No, I think they both have their merits. I definitely think that 2014, yeah, it's probably seen better days. I've got a feeling like a few years ago it must have been a lot nicer. It's really, really interesting on the nose, but on the palate, I didn't really get too much out of it. So that one was a really pleasant first date. But then, let's say I went on a date with that one for lunchtime, and then I had the second one at dinner time. Okay. The first date won't be getting a call back because the second date was like so good.
Oh my God! I'm like, you know what? You're making
for
me
a dating show. Yeah.
You're making me hate my life right now. Now I'm always gonna be wondering when I go out on that date. I'm gonna be like, did he have a date at lunchtime? I mean,
what was he up to?
Yeah. Because the date at dinner was better than me. Like,
no, but
now.
But the second one definitely much better structure, much better flavor. I'm even thinking of food matches for it. Like it's definitely a step up. So
would
definitely
would you say it was acceptable or good?
It's good.
Good. Okay. Nice.
Good. Yeah.
All right. So you guys know what? We have went through the entire tasting grid. We have went through the entire process for evaluating wines, and I think that we all said that our wines in general were good, acceptable at least. Some of them were good, some of them were much better. And yeah, if you guys have anything last minute remarks that you want to say. No?
No? I want to ask Takura, you were talking about food earlier. It's never occurred to me, but what do you pair with the Riesling, like food wise?
So with the Rieslings that I have, it's like super lemony, super fresh. So fish comes to mind. So just like a really nice fish dish. This has got loads of acid, so I could even have like a creamy sauce with it.
Okay.
Anything with a bit more sweetness, I tend to start thinking spice. So if you can get a lot of sweet, fruity sweet and spicy fruity notes, then I'd say something with spice in it, so it should be able to handle your Chinese takeout.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the funny thing is, I'm not really a taco aficionado. I'd say I know Asian food, so I'd say like Asian food and Gewerztraminer sounds like a home run for me. Tacos, I might need to do some research. I might need to make some tacos one of these days.
I can show you how to make tacos for sure, 100%. We can have a taco making class.
I'm all for learning how to cook different stuff, so I'll sign up for that.
I'm a taco.
I love tacos. They are the best thing in the world.
Tacos are the best thing in the world. They're the best food in the world.
Is today Tuesday? Taco Tuesday.
Oh my God.
Tuesday.
All right, so thank you so much for jumping in on the call. We'll be back next Tuesday. Did we pick Syrah for next Tuesday, or did we pick something? No,
we did Syrah last week.
Huh?
Wasn't Syrah last week?
Syrah was last week. I'm sorry, that just stays top of my mind because I love Syrah. But who wants to pick the varietal for next week?
Can I?
Who? What did she say?
Can I pick a varietal?
Yes.
Can I just ask something?
Yes.
I mean, just from Tuanni, maybe if I can just get a, if I'm allowed to, I would love to actually. Is it possible that we can actually taste French classifications and wines of the world, if it's possible? Because I'm actually going to be tested in my diploma in wines of the world, and I'm really clueless. And with the COVID-19 and lockdown, we really don't have anything going on. So is it possible?
I think that because this group is like it's for Black, so which is a Black seller club, and I really do want more people in Black to join the tasting group, and I don't want to make it even harder for them to join. I think Gewerztraminer was like a hard grape to find, and so if we start saying, oh, you have to find a French Bordeaux or you have to find a French Burgundy, they might not be able to. A lot of people might not be able to afford it. or they might not be able to find it. So I think that that would be harder. We can do me and you, and we can get some more people together, and we can do a study session.
I'll be down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe even on Thursday, maybe even on the Thursday session, we can use the Thursday session to do like French classifications. You know what I mean? So it's not necessarily a tasting where people have to get a bottle of wine, but on Thursday we can jump on the call and we can do French classifications and go over all of that. Now, I'm not French wines are so difficult, and I feel like we need to pick like a region like either Burgundy or Bordeaux, because there's so many different rules and regulations, even the Rhone Valley.
What about Alsace?
Yeah, I mean,
Alsace is nuts.
Yeah, you can probably.
Alsace is in a minefield, yeah.
Yeah.
So many rules.
So Tatu, let's do that on Thursday. I was gonna take a break, but
Awesome.
let's just do that on Thursday.
Can I ask a question? Tatu, did you come to the class where we had, I forgot her name. She lives in France.
Yes, I'm very loyal. So
okay, because that class was a good overview as well.
Yes. I took a lot of notes, but the thing is, like, I know the theory part of it. I'm very loaded, but the thing is, I would love to actually taste the notes and go through all the flavors and everything that we just went through today.
Okay.
Yeah, well, we can figure that out. But for this platform on Tasting Tuesdays, let's just keep it simple, single varietal, something that's easily accessible. Yeah. So do you have a grape for that?
I was gonna say Pinotage.
And even if you wanted to do, you could always say Burgundy and say Pinot. You could always say Pinot Noir and do that. But yeah, what did you say? Who said what?
I said
Takura.
Takura, c'est Pinotage.
The Pinotage, yeah.
Oh,
yes, let's do that.
That would make my heart smile if we did Pinotage. So yes, that's the South African grape that was discovered here or created here, and Pinotage it is. It's Pino. Somebody put it in the chat for.
I'll put it in the text.
Pinotage. So yeah, I'm curious to see which.
It's a cross between Pinot Noir and Hermitage. That's where the name comes from.
Yes, Pinotage. So I'm super excited about that. So everybody make sure you grab a bottle of Pinotage. It might be a little bit hard to find a good one in the States, but you can definitely find some good ones in the States. You're calling from Florida, and where else?
New York.
New York.
New York,
You should definitely be able to find a Pinotage. Don, where are you in Florida? What city?
Tallahassee. I mean, I'm honestly from Africa, so I mean, I've seen some Pinotage around, so I'll get one for sure, easily.
Yay! Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So the grape for next week is going to be Pinotage. So everybody come with your Pinotage. We will go through the tasting notes for Pinotage. If you're watching on Facebook, find a Pinotage. Taste Pinotage with us. It's such a uniquely flavored grape, and it's diverse too, because you can get Pinotages that are very earthy but fruity at the same time, and just tastes like this fruit that you dug up from the ground and then you bit, and then that could be Pinotage. Or you can get cleaner tasting Pinotage where they don't have that earthiness to them. But I'm excited about Pinotage, and yes, everybody get your Pinotage. We'll come back next week, 6 p.m. Tell your friends, 6 p.m. South African time. Thanks, you guys, for joining us from the States.
It has been great. You take it easy now.
Thank you, my lovely.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Be
Cheers.
safe, feel better.
Thanks,
Get yourself
everyone.
healthy.
Feel better, Tuanni.
I
Yeah.
will. I'm gonna drink
See
lots
you
of
all
water.
next week.
All right, later, bye.
Yes, God bless. Bye.
Yeah.